Hello, and welcome to Royale Without Cheese, our bi-weekly podcast in which we discuss both the classic and the unknown of Hollywood and forest cinema from the then and now. We are your hosts, me, Leonardo Miranda, Miguel Aido,
Hi there.
hey there, and of course, Tomás Ferreira.
Hey.
We are three filmmakers in an informal dialogue with a film review each episode. With the wrap-up of 2022, we're opening a review series looking back at some of the last year's films that might be possible Oscar contenders or simply top of the talk festival darlings. Our Oscar segment will run through January, February, and March 2023. As part of our red carpet affairs, reviews in both English and Portuguese will be available for different listeners. Today's episode will be in English, and we'll be having a go at Park Chan-Wook's decision to leave. Portuguese speakers can head to the Portuguese labeled content section. Now sit back and hope you enjoy the show, as always.
Park Chan-Wook's latest film premiered in the US in October. It's been making its way around the festival circuit by appearing at TIFF and Chicago International Film Festival, Fantastic Fest, and a load more, now leading the way in the Asian Film Awards. Known for his incursions into the psychological thriller and romance, Park is no stranger to the bending of these genres, with other works such as Old Boy, Lady Vengeance, and Handmaiden. But what did Royale Without Cheese think about his latest film?
I know you didn't enjoy it much, but I enjoyed it.
It is a complicated situation because it's not quite. I cannot actually state that I didn't enjoy it on the basis of this first watch, because precisely I felt that I need a second watch or even a third, because there's so much that evades me. Specifically after the character shifts the place where he works and he goes back to the town where his wife lives, because essentially he works in Busan, and where he lives with his wife in Lipo is another town in the film. So when he goes back there, I'm completely lost. I don't know what the heck is going on. There's so much thing that
it's not that hard.
I'm so lost.
I think the first half of the film is kind of confusing at points because of the editing and the flash forwards and the way there's various crimes that I don't know their relation.
I get that, especially the beginning of it. There's so many jump cuts, and there's a case before the main case, but by the end of that first part, I get the general view of it. Okay, I get where we are with the case, the finale of it. But then when we go to Lipo and the whole second husband that the widow has, and the relationship with the other gangster dude, I don't get it. I'm lost. The finale at the beach, I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand this film. I'm sorry. I was a bit at a loss. I think I need a second watch. But there are kind of elements elusive to Vertigo that I appreciated.
It's very much. It's his Vertigo film.
Though
every filmmaker has its own.
Because it made me think of Vertigo, I was feeling like I'd rather be watching Vertigo than this.
I think it fulfills very different needs for me.
Yeah, because you understood it, because you understood it. I think I still need a second kind of watch.
I mean, I don't know if I understood. It's still a confusing film, and there are still things that I'm not totally sure I know what the fuck they meant, or like narratively what was going on. But I got the general idea of it pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I do agree that the second half can make you feel a bit more confused because of the new elements with the husband and Slappy and I don't
the gangster stuff, and then there's supposed to be a whole revelation at the end by coming back to her, that moment with her in the red dress texting.
What I think is that he goes a little overboard with the editing in that second half between the flashbacks and the present, and so it does. I think it makes things unnecessarily confusing, but it's not too difficult if you just hold off in your confusion and then wait to see what he means, because then Slappy comes back and he does the interrogation scene and things are a bit more clear, and you feel and then she explains the whole thing with the husband that it was a sort of a scheme.
Okay, then explain to me, what did you understood about that second half? I'm very
What did you
curious.
not understand? I think it's easier
Yeah, I
that
mean,
way.
Okay, I did not understand when we cut to that gangster slapping her when she's in that red dress and all bruised up. I don't know how that connects with the
But
rest. And then we come back to
I
that
don't think you
same.
need to understand that necessarily.
No? Okay, so that's the part not to
and
understand.
she had
Great, fine.
she had a shitty relationship with a lover.
I don't have a perfect like an explanation to it. It's more she's in a relationship with some
But
guy
the
who
thing
has
is,
connections.
it seems to be important because we come back that same gangster being interrogated, and especially at the end.
If you just approach it in its own terms, like it starts the second half. Okay, now we're thrown into this strange, like new narrative. Let's say, if you
Yeah,
approach
for
on its
sure.
own terms, what did it say? Okay, she's in this
Yeah.
relationship, and she
Okay.
goes back to Ipo. She has an opportunity comes up that she needs to relocate, and I think that's the essential part of that thread that you don't understand. It's more of a setup to give her an excuse to go somewhere else, and the place that she decides to go is Ipo, because she wants to go to the same city as June. I think that's the essential part
I
of it.
understood that bit.
Okay, but now you don't need to understand exactly the mechanics of what's the
Yeah, but it
relationship
seems
and
like the film wants me to understand by the end with the twist because there's this whole coming together of plot lines with the gangster interrogation. Then the detective seems to realize something through asking that same fat gangster who lost the mother, a bunch of questions. I'm like, what was just revealed? I don't get it. And then we go to
what
the
did you that's very easy to understand, right?
what was it? I don't remember. You see, it had so little effect on me that I don't quite remember what was the interrogation all about. What was his liaison with her and the killing of the husband, the second husband, and what was all of that?
Okay,
Yeah.
the essential part of it is that she wanted to have a connection to June, the detective. She wanted to
Yes.
have a reason to be investigated by him again.
Yes. 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 I understand.
So the relationship to Slappy is that she killed his mother by giving her the fentanyl, which by in turn meant that he, Slappy, would kill her husband, and in turn would mean that would be a murder in Ipoh, and in turn would mean that June was going to investigate that murder, to which she was related.
Okay, I did not understand that whole. You see, you understood the mechanics a little bit better than I did because I didn't understand that. You see, you made the connections that I did not make. I understood that she got herself in this new situation with another husband
Mhm.
that led her to Lipo, and that was it. To meet him again.
What the film hides is whether she got into this new relationship purposefully, which would, be insane. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
the case or not, or if she just happens to be in this new relationship with this guy who has mafia connections or gangster connection. It's not even clear. But that's essentially what the film with the jump does. It doesn't show her starting this new relationship, which can be a little confusing, I suppose. And I don't know if I got it. Maybe I'm wrong.
yeah, and the extent to which it's important is just so that it's important to understand the mechanics of the murders, because it changes the perspective of the detective, in that he'd always suspected that she might not be completely innocent, and now things change because he has new information, and that's the important part, is that this information changes how he feels about her.
And I think it's what
And
makes
that's why the ending, yeah, that's what drives the ending to be so much more powerful.
exactly, and also why the second half, when they meet again in the context of a murder or of a death, is so funny, because he's like, do you think I'm stupid? I know what you've done, I know everything, right? Yeah. But he still has that doubt in him. Maybe this time she didn't do it.
Mm.
And that conflict within him is, I think, is interesting, that
Hmm.
he's determined to prove that she did it, but at the same time this is subconscious, which is symbolized by his unsureness of whether the dress is blue or green, is what makes it interesting. because he wants to believe.
That scene with the cop partner where they're sort of recreating the arm part, and it clicks on that exact moment, and then the phone, he threw it. Let's search the sea. It's just an eureka moment suddenly with that exact position. But yeah, it just speaks to his sort of desperation and
Yeah.
weird state of mind, completely in love, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of a very toxic relationship that they have, in that they murder unites them here in this film. Reminded me a bit of also Phantom Thread, in the sense that the relationship is built on something very fucked up, brings them together, and what makes them want to be together.
But isn't that every
Isn't
relationship?
it all at all? Not to this degree, but in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give him poison mushrooms and I'll take care of him.
No, but in the sense that yeah, they're both very shattered people. I mean, the guy's not happy in his marriage, so it always takes two people.
But then she does kill herself by the end, right?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of the need for that? Did you like? I was a bit at a loss. Why did you need to?
I'm very torn on it. I think it's interesting.
It feels like an easy cop out. One of us has to die.
I don't know. I wouldn't even call it a cop out. It's more of it serves a very like narrative and thematic purpose, but I don't feel like it's justified by the narrative, by the characters in their relationship that much. Feels like more of a punchline ending
I
of
see.
I'm going to give you a reason to always search for me because that's the only way we can be together.
Yeah, I agree.
But it doesn't feel justified. I think I like it in that sense that it is an interesting idea, and the way she commits suicide is like very strange.
Very strange, isn't it? I'm like, I'm thinking of the whole thing. It's like, I'm gonna dig this hole, I'm gonna go on the hole, and I'm gonna wait that water comes in. And I'm thinking, it's like, it doesn't seem like the most effective way to do this.
I mean, it's not.
Not someone who, if you choose to drown, you're not.
She didn't. Did she? She didn't bury herself. She kind of just waited for the water level to rise, right?
Yeah, it's the thing. It's a slow death. I mean, yeah.
And buries.
Yeah, it like that's the indication.
Okay, I want to die, but I want to be poetic about it. I want to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe she wanted to maybe be rescued by the detective, so she chose the slowest way to go.
Yeah.
She wanted to give him an option, but I think she wanted to die. I mean, I don't think she I don't buy it.
I think the screenwriters wanted her to
exactly.
die.
I think Park Chan-Wook was like, it would be really cool if this was the way to end it. It is cool. It is an interesting like way of doing it, but it doesn't feel earned that much. Because I thought like they do seem to love each other very much, and they in their own fucked up way it could work, but I don't know. It felt like she was fulfilling a narrative, like a story that she created in a way that is very external to the world of the film itself.
And also the film itself has very unexpected funny moments or humorous moments, like at the beginning, mainly his partner having always that massaging robot thinking. They are doing the job, like actually spying on the suspect, and he's like, wow, like massaging his partner.
And I really laughed when they were doing that sort of chase on foot, and the other guy just stays behind, completely falls to the ground. I can't do this, man. He's a cop. He's completely out of shape. It was really fun.
He's just shouting at the other guy.
and then a little afterwards, he just goes to the backyard of that guy, just gets stabbed a million times. Just completely incompetent.
Yeah, like Koreans, I'm generalizing, but Korean cinema with this kind of cop thrillers I'm thinking of Memories of a Murder. they really like to have this kind of body humor, slapstick, where they just ridicule the cops or someone. For example, I think Memories of a Murder, which is from Bong Joon-ho, you have some cops being very aggressive with the suspects while interrogating them and just, oh yeah, and then they just these strenuous movements where they put someone on the ground with just a kick and the suspect falls down a whole hill or from the interrogation chair and just feels ridiculous. It doesn't feel like the cops are well composed. These figures of authority are very ridiculous. And that is it kind of goes against the whole seriousness of the moment, because at the same time that this kind of slapstick moment is going on, the camera may be fixed, a very held position. So visually, the camera is not really going for humor, but narratively speaking, the character is acting like very ridiculous.
Here, I think the whole film sustains a comic tone throughout most of the time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Although it's something that does not take center stage, it's another taste in the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's in there. Yeah. I think I don't find that very inventive is the moments where he's spying on this widow and he sees himself in the room as well with her. It feels a bit. I have seen this gimmick of the reenactment of the event or being done while the person who is narrating it or seeing it in his own mind is in the scene. I have seen this too often made in film that it's no longer impressive.
I don't think it's there to be impressive. It's just there.
No, but it's one of those things that you clearly see it as one of the traits of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you want?
I think it's just trying to find new ways to visualize his insomnia.
Exactly. New ways to visualize this kind of proximity between observed and observer. And I think it's not really new. It doesn't impress me.
Okay, yeah.
That way.
But
you see? That's me personally.
I guess. But it's not like I'm not like, whoa, what a genius decision. It's just, oh, nice. Okay, cool. I don't think it needs to find new ways necessarily. And I think
you had the dolly zoom and then people started making dolly zooms, and it doesn't mean that deserves a comment of they're repeating dolly zooms and it's not impressive. It's like just a new way of doing things.
And when I say new way, I don't mean a new way that is like never been done before, not even once. I mean that this is not how you would do a scene like this most of the times. Even like it's been done before, but it's not the typical way.
Do you think that this type of scene was done in a new way?
This type of scene? What do you mean?
I mean, this scene is not new. I mean, we have seen this in other films. Where
you've seen most things in other films.
Yeah, most things in other films, but it's like some things I find
not a
quite
fair
new.
Spectator. You have to remember.
But what do you mean?
You've seen much more. Yeah, you've seen much more than most people. So.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, some things feel quite new, even if you feel that an element in the narrative or a way of filming or the way the sound is treated in a scene or in a film has been done before. Either it's a new angle or legitimately, oh, this is quite new. I have never seen this before.
I don't think I've seen it like an insomnia portrayed like that. Like I've seen that thing of someone is having a flashback or a thought and they see themselves in the same room. But usually it's more gimmicky than here, where it makes sense, even if it's not particularly like mind-blowing or impressive, but it helps put you in the mindset of the character. He's sleep deprived. He sees himself with this woman that he's fascinated with. I think it works.
Yeah, and it engages you in the scene, I think, because it's not always linear. So
surely it engages you, but I think it's the awareness that he wants to engage me with this thing I have seen so many times, and I don't particularly see it as
but every shot, in theory, should be made to engage you. So, it's it's just a choice.
I don't know. It just, to me personally, just reminded me too much of its effect as a gimmick. To me, it was a gimmick. I get in the sense of it works up with this insomnia aspect, but nothing new was added to it to me. But
I mean, that's a bit like when directors use tracking shots, those really long one take shots, where you feel like if there's a reason behind it, you're okay with it. But if there's not, then you question it a little bit more. It's kind of the same here. I mean, you have a different type of way of setting up a scene and shooting it. And you either have some sort of way to base it, and in this case it's the guy's insomnia, or you don't, and you question a little bit its motive.
But to me, it's not quite the guy's insomnia. To me, the reasoning behind him putting him, the observer, so close to the observed, is the fact that the whole center stage of the film is about this love affair between a detective and a suspect emerging, and how it becomes kind of obsessive
I think
and
it serves
lavish.
a dual
and...
purpose more.
Hmm?
I think it serves both purposes.
Okay, both purposes. But the thing is, I just felt, it feels like, how can we express this obsession? Let's put him actually inside the house with the observed, and it just feels like it's okay, that's literally what Stalker most wants, and you've done that, and I think I've seen that before, and I don't feel quite impressed. I just felt cheap, to me.
No, I think the problem is that it's in a dramatic scene, because if it's a comedy-ish scene, comedy refers to the very act of it. So it's normal that shots that are representing comedic scenes are more sort of gimmicky as well, like pans and zooms. And in here you have a dramatic scene, so you expect more sober stuff.
No, it's not that I expect sober stuff. I'm not defending that it should be a sober, observation just by the monocles of this person. It's just that the way he chooses to approach it, and I'm not saying he shouldn't even do the scene where the observation of this person in her living room having her daily life, and then he sees himself inside it. It's just, okay, we are inside this living room, and we know that we're seeing her from afar, but it's all seen within your mind's eye, let's say. What else of new are we going to add? And I always felt that nothing was really expressed.
I mean, really, the only thing that it's different is suspended disbelief because suddenly he's inside the house. But in terms of the actual shots, the pans, it's very much the style of the director. I mean, he does this a lot. This is his way of shooting. So really, the only thing that is a bit different is putting him inside the room. And that aspect alone is not. I mean, I wasn't bothered by it.
Exactly, it's just different perspective. It didn't bother me. I barely thought about it even.
Huh, interesting. I thought about it a lot because he does it more than once, and it feels functional.
But I think it sets up comedy as well. Like,
oh yeah, you think so?
In one of the scenes, he's talking on the phone with her. We see them face to face, and I underline it sets up the comedy, which is they're talking. He asks her to come over to do something. I don't remember what. I think it's the buccal thing, and she says, "Oh no, today I can't go." Blah blah blah. And then we cut to her leaving the apartment and getting on the car. If I'm not mistaken, this is how it goes. And he's following her to see where she goes. And she goes to the police station. So it's like,
oh,
you're here. Yeah. So I think even though the scene is dramatic in the sense that it serves the development of the narrative, but it sets up the comedy that comes right after.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a bit of humor in that he wants to go inside and she says no, but then with him being inside because of the way he directed the scene, I mean, he forces himself, so to speak, inside through the director, even though the character was told he couldn't go inside. So it's funny that way as well.
Yeah, the whole investigation in Stalker scenes do have a humor tone to it. Like when he wakes up and she's like looking at him, "Good morning," and she goes back inside, and it cuts to him in the office saying good morning to people. Clearly, she improves his mood, and the fact that it's like a known secret. You're investigating me. I don't mind it, and it's almost pointless. So because they just like the game between each other. It's sort of a role play that they both consent to.
It's the role play of love.
Role play
Another
love.
trait of the film that I find is particularly used here, and in I think Parasite as well, is how comfortable they are with shooting, filming the interactions with phones, like smartphones. If there's one thing that I would hate to film that I never think about, so much so that whenever I write something that involves a phone, I picture that phone has a phone from 30 years ago.
That's a very Portuguese way of thinking about
I always
directing
realize
phones.
I'm like, fuck, this phone does not exist. People don't use this, but I like it though. Can we do it? So
it's like Portuguese, never Americans. Sure, okay. South Koreans. Sure. Oh, let's go inside the phones. Let's see them from inside.
Yeah. They're the visionaries here. They're portraying modernity, man.
Yeah, like and it's really interesting how that's what's most interesting in the film is how dealing with smartphones and the conversations over phones. It's so embraced. You have so much drama around the phone. There are close-ups of a phone.
Yeah, the codes to unlock
you see
the
the texts reflected on their faces and the waiting of a message, the behavior around not seeing the other person yet being talking to.
That's the shot of the three dots loading up as he's waiting for her.
No, and he constantly saying something, then erasing it because of the answer sheet.
Yeah. So it's accepting that part of modern times into film representation, and I just thought it funny in regards as well to my own approach to the phones. I'm laughing because every short I've done has a fucking phone in it, and I'm like, why do I keep coming back to phones? And then I'm writing this film yet again, and a whole part of it is about phones, but the phones aren't modern at all, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't like phones. I don't like smartphones.
Yeah, I understand that. But like phones are part of our everyday existence.
True. It's a reflection of that. It's really a reflection of that. And yet it's like, because it's so much part of our existence, I keep coming back to phones perhaps. On the conversation level, which is really the least used app of a phone to me. Like I don't use the phone that much. The phone
app is the phone app.
It's the phone app. Mike just sent me a stand-up sketch the other day, and it was a comedian reflecting about that, and I thought, wow, that's a really well thought out thing, because yes, if anything I use less on the phone is to call someone nowadays, and actually I'm annoyed by it. I'm annoyed that I'm so dependent on YouTube most of all, and then
all these apps,
Instagram and all that. I wish I could I cannot uninstall YouTube. I need to disable or anything, but I don't want to disable it.
The power
because I need it.
Just turn away from the phone is difficult.
So I started, tidying up the place and putting the apps in a place it's more difficult to get at. I need to move. I need to get inside the thing, but I'm like, my brain has gotten used to it. Now I go inside the thing.
No, you just
I search it all, and I'm going, stop it.
Just hide your phone.
I just wish for the early days of my life when I didn't need this fucking rackety thing. The good thing on the brighter side is that I never was a person who cared about how advanced my phone is. I don't care about that side of things. So I'm content with the phone I have. But it's annoying, phones, and how much control they have over your life.
What's the deal with these phones?
What was that?
It's Jerry Seinfeld.
All right.
Attempted.
Yeah. All right.
What's with this phones?
Yeah, that was more accurate.
Yeah.
That was more accurate. It's slower, high pitch.
I just remember a shot that I really liked. It was in the chase scene, and he puts the camera right behind the head. I don't know if you remember. It's like it's attached to. Yeah, it's a POV but of the back.
Yeah.
It's attached to the body.
I know.
It's really interesting to see.
That's probably this device that they have that they attach to the actor's body, and then the camera is there holding on the stick. They usually put it in front of the person, so you see it's a close up of the face, and she's walking. I think Aronofsky does that in Requiem for a Dream, where the whole surroundings is like this. Right, very discombobulated. But this time, he actually puts the camera behind the actor, which I haven't seen that type of shot being done from the behind. That was interesting. That
But
was cool.
I found it really interesting because you see the chase scene at the speed of the chaser, really,
Yeah.
and you get a sense that they're running fast, but they're not running that fast as you would think if you compare it with the surroundings.
Uh huh.
So you really get a sense of the reality of the situation where they're tired and the speed is not that great anyway.
I also like how he shot the
It's
rooftop
really
chase
interesting.
sequence. How he holds on that the aerial shot, and you actually saw the surroundings and how difficult it is to kind of mount up the
Yeah, some
buildings.
crane shots are very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean he's a good director. Very very sure of himself.
I still need to see Old Boy. It's like a film that I know for 10 years now,
Good film.
and I still haven't seen it. My dad just watched it last night, but it was a remake
Oh yeah. Oh,
with
it
Josh
was on. I
Brolin.
saw it too.
Yeah.
Spike
Oh yeah.
Lee's. No, I didn't see it. I've seen it in the
Yeah, you've
past, I
seen
think,
glimpses of
but I
it.
saw that it was on TV.
He also directed that little drummer girl series,
Ah, yeah, true.
Oh yeah. Well,
which
that's
is
surprising.
interesting. Yeah, it's with Florence Pugh and that's Skarsgård
Not
brother.
nobody else. Just Florence Pugh.
No, it's a bunch of actors, but
Yeah.
she's the lead.
Yeah.
But it has, even though it's a British show, the directing it's very very interesting and it's very his.
Wise people like water. Benevolent people like mountains. I am not benevolent. I like the sea. This is what she says in the beginning of the film.
Yes, I thought that was a little confusing. I had to stop the film and okay, let's.
Take this in.
Yeah, but I think he incorporates that into the color symbolisms and like
In
the
the end.
green dress. The green being the mountain, the blue being the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact that he sees he sees the dress as green, I think, which means you would see her uh, as benevolent in a way, if we were to follow the logic of the little poem she reads.
I went, in the location she says in the poem. I mean, or not the poem, the thing. For me, it was just where the murders happened. It was the mountain and the first, and then she killed herself in the sea.
Yeah, no, there's different various connections to it, I think, throughout the film. Just the
Yeah.
dress being one for me in terms of the colors, the associations, also the wallpaper in a room. I think if I'm not wrong, it's waves or it's mountains. I'm not sure, but it's bluish as well. It's not sure. It's not certain what it is. I didn't get a good look at it. I think it's like blue, but it can be a mountain. So I think it speaks to her uncertain nature, especially in his eyes, and everyone around her as well. Or some see her as benevolent, others see her as wise. Wise being, maybe you can say it's like an indicator of
Shrewdness.
shrewdness. Yeah, like that she knows what she's doing and she's playing people. So in a way of evilness, which I thought was interesting little things to put in the film to make it more to reflect upon, make it more engaging.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed that line. She says, let me just pick it up. It's the moment you said you love me, your love is over. The moment your love ends, my love begins. That was interesting as well. Kind of speaks to,
But he never says
it's a love film, really, I think.
never says I love you. I think what she interprets as I love you is actually another line.
I think he says it. She doesn't.
I mean, she in a way says
Well, he
it
doesn't
too.
say it. He's listening to a recording by the end of it, and there's no trace of it, except one line that seems to indicate, oh, that's what she meant by me saying I love you. Or did she actually say? Because I didn't
No,
notice it.
I'm pretty sure at the end he says it to her face. Pretty sure. And then she doesn't say it back and she leaves.
But
Maybe
regardless, it's pretty obvious that they like each other at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the whole that's the
The
whole
whole
center
point,
thing
yeah.
of the film.
No, I think I was thinking of a scene on Elvis. Not this film.
Yeah, I mean, the sense I got from the ending was the whole point. It was he never said it really, because on the recording that he listens by the end by the beach, no trace of it. He says something that, oh, that's what she meant by me saying I love you, but it was another line. Anyway, that's how I interpret.
Yeah, maybe that would make sense within the. Also, the whole thing of she's Chinese and says she doesn't speak too well Korean, so maybe that's what happened. Yeah.
Did Parasite won Best Film?
Yeah, it did.
Because I
Won
think
a
it was
bunch of
Best
shit.
International, but
It won both.
yeah.
I think. But
Yeah,
Best
yeah.
Picture it won.
Okay, that was
for
a
sure.
jump.
That was a big
really.
jump.
That was
Unexpected.
the biggest jump.
The biggest jump.
Biggest jump.
Yeah.
The biggest jump was when they decided to shift from Best Foreign Film to Best International Film.
Whoa.
Now we are inclusive. Oh my
That's
god.
not inclusive. How is that a change for inclusivity?
But that's what made them feel warmer inside.
I think you're projecting a little bit there. I don't think that was
I don't know.
Why would that
what was
be?
that choice?
I mean, it's just a change in name. I don't think it was like, oh, we're gonna be inclusive here.
I think so.
We're the master puppeteers of inclusivity.
I think they see themselves as the master puppeteers of inclusivity.
I don't think it means anything. It's just a change in name.
Okay.
They should just make the Oscars the whole world and just give 2 of each, like 2 best actors, 2 best.
Okay,
but instead of
one for Americans and one for foreign international.
it could be that they're both Americans, but they should just broaden the whole spectrum of films.
One for each country.
One for each country. That's a little too much.
Instead of being an Oscar for best international film, just best films in general. Just accept films.
Oh, that would be
everywhere.
great. That would be great as a category. So the Oscar for best film in general goes to
and a pretty good film.
Yeah. It's like they will be obliged to make like, so the best American film goes to, and then so the best film in general that is not American.
Yeah.
Like this was very good, but in general, it's this.
It's the other one.
Yeah.
All right.
Just keep it down.
We are not trying to be political correct. We just want to show that we are inclusive. I mean, in general. Don't take this wrong.
In general.
They
should make a best stuntman and give it to Tom Cruise.
Actually, that would be legit.
Yeah.
It seems ridiculous, but stuntmen work a lot, so why not?
I think that's one of the most asked for categories ever.
No, it seems, but it's actually a pretty hard job, so it should have like best stuntman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when all other teams are somewhat represented. I mean, you can include electricians in the cinematography department, everything.
Yeah.
But stuntman, it's like, what is that production? Is that what is that? It's and even if it is production, there's not a real production category unless you count best picture because it's so broad.
I mean, the best picture used to go solely to the producer, I think. But now they changed that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not best production. Although, like, the whole ceremony is in a way for the production of the film, which is a totality. So I guess it's...
Yeah.
But while on that line of technical crew, I hope that this year, don't know, but they bring back like Oscars Live for the technical crew, because in the other one, well, the last one, they filmed.
Yeah, that was
they
disrespectful.
taped the sound guys, the editing guys, receiving the awards over video. Like they had the whole ceremony recorded, and I didn't really like that. I thought, why did you do this? This is horrible. This really shows like your attitude towards what is not starry and poppy. That this really shows, like, leaves naked bare the fact that the Oscars are a show, a TV show, and let's leave what's important to the TV and what's unimportant to be just a little clip.
It's so stupid because like editing, even I think cinematography also was put aside for like not televised.
That's horrible. It's like,
It's like
that
those
whole
are
thing.
essential
It's
parts.
like I get to make it, man, but come on.
Come on.
It's like
Exactly.
it's-
Like,
it's-
okay, short documentary. Okay, yeah, I get that one. Even though I'm sure they put a lot of work into making those films, and they love to be on television, shit like. But like,
They're very good.
It's like we're acting up the board members of the Oscars. Like I get it. It's like
I
short
get it.
documentary.
I mean, ideally you wouldn't cut it, but like if you're gonna cut something, it's not editing and cinematography.
Yeah. Overall, to be fair, don't cut anything.
Yeah, that would be my.
Just have it as you always had it. For ages and ages.
But if you're gonna cut it, it's the short
If you're gonna
man.
cut it, it's just-
I don't know. I think every Oscar is bad. They're all bad.
in terms of
Every
like the
ceremony.
showmanship of it.
Yeah, it's always like annoying.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. What
It's
ways?
What way? They're jerking themselves off. We get it. Just
Oh yeah, it's annoying in that sense. Yeah.
just present the awards. Just
I mean, it's funny because when I'm in the moments pre the awards, I'm not thinking about it. But when it comes the moment to see it, I actually that's the moment when I get annoyed, because it's almost like after the show or before the show and the whole year, you look forward to the awards or you imagine the awards, and at least me, and I don't remember the annoying bits. It's like, oh, it's the Oscars, that moment, that ceremony, that prestige. Then you come to see it, and I'm just complaining the whole way through, more or less.
no, because I think like I care. Maybe I'm alone in this, but I just want to see the awards be given out. Yeah, maybe crap a little crappy jokes here and there,
actually,
okay. But like,
yeah.
I don't want the whole.
I don't care.
Performance.
I don't care for the dance numbers, for
yeah,
example.
the dance numbers. I mean, if it's for the music nomination or whatever, okay. I
care.
excuse that
I care
one.
every year that James Bond is nominated. I care. Let's see them sing.
I don't mind those performances, but the whole like they make
No, it's too long,
sketches.
it's too long.
They
Yeah, it's
complain
too long.
about the viewership is down. Yeah, no fucking shit. So it's boring as shit. It's like
Yeah.
4 hours long, and then you're cutting editing off and cinematography off. But I care about seeing those guys get the award,
Yeah.
be happy, speak to their families. Like I think that's the nice part. It's not seeing Jimmy Kimmel have a sketch about, oh, wasn't this Marvel movie cool? It's not nominated. Wow.
Or those bits, those sketches of him at the cinema complaining about Matt Damon. The thing about Matt is that he has no talent, and he's just going on and on with the sketch. He goes to Matt, and he goes to somebody else.
And they have those things where then they bring audience, like they have it's the thing I think you're talking about.
Yeah, I
There's a
think
thing
so.
at the
I'm
cinema, then they
remembering.
bring the people in. It's like 10 minutes long. I'm sorry, I don't. This
It
is
slightly,
Hollywood.
it
yeah.
slightly feels condescending.
It's very condescending. It's like, oh, we brought the poors in to watch the
Yeah,
royalty.
yeah.
Relax, like no. We let us just enjoy the spectacle of these rich people getting rewarded for being rich. That's the fun part. I don't want to see people like me there looking at them like in the rich people. I got to touch them. It's like
in them all in tuxedos and dresses, and them come in regular clothes, like little cameras taking pictures.
it's too
sad.
real. Yeah, it's a little too real
Yeah,
when this is fantasy.
yeah. So let me buy into fantasy. Show their prices, do the thing. That's it. I'll go home.
And that's it, folks. If you'd like to reach out and suggest a film for the next episode, you can find us on the podcast official Instagram and Facebook pages. Don't forget to subscribe, share the episode, or simply give us a neat little like. That's how our podcast can grow ever more groovy.
I like my likes.
Hell yeah. Thanks for listening, and see you next time, baby.
See ya.
See ya.
You goddamn.